Assalamu alaikum. Dear students, I am here, Hafiz Muhammad Ammar, co-teacher for microbiology course code BOTN 4128. Today we are here for the lecture number 13 entitled with Requirements for the Microbial Growth Physical Factors. The contents which will be covered today in this lecture will include temperature and osmotic pressure. In temperature we will discuss following things: types of microorganisms on growth temperature range, general effects, effect of temperature on microbial growth rate, temperature effect with respect to enzyme activity, temperature's role in inhibiting their growth. Under osmotic pressure, we will cover definition and types of bacteria on osmotic pressure effects. Temperature. If we talk about the temperature, most of the species of bacteria can grow over a 30 degrees Celsius temperature range, but the minimum and maximum temperatures for different species vary considerably. Seawater remains liquid below 0 degrees Celsius, and organisms living in cold oceans, they can tolerate below freezing temperatures. Bacteria can effectively inhabit every place suitable for the existence of life. For example, frozen Antarctic glaciers, and even under the extreme barometric pressures and temperatures encountered in ocean floor vents. At temperatures greater than 160 Fahrenheit, all life on Earth is bacterial. The bacterium Thermophila acidophyllum thrives at 140 degree Fahrenheit with an pH of 1 or 2 even. This organism, found on the surface of the burning coal and in thermal hot springs, it freezes to the death at 100 degree Fahrenheit. Recently, microbial communities have been found living 3,000 feet below the Earth's surface in Columbia River basalt. These bacteria are anaerobic, and they are getting their energy from the hydrogen reaction produced between the minerals in the basalt and groundwater seepage through the rocks. The characterization of bacteria living in extreme environments provides insight into the diversity of life strategies, as well as an opportunity to produce and use biological molecules with unique capabilities. According to the growth temperature range, microorganisms can be classified as psychrophiles, mesophiles, thermophiles. Most bacteria, however, do not tolerate the whole temperature range of a category, and some tolerate a range of other and overlaps categories. Within these groups, bacteria are further classified as obligate or facultative, where obligate means that the organism must have the specified environmental conditions, while facultative means that the organism is able to adjust and tolerate the environmental conditions. It can also live in other conditions. Psychrophiles. They are also called cold living organisms. They can grow best at temperature of 15 degrees Celsius to 20 degrees Celsius, and some live quite well at 0 degrees Celsius. Psychrophiles live mostly in cold water and soil. None can live in the human body, but such as Listeria monocytogenes are known to cause spoilage of refrigerated foods and subsequent diseases in humans, sometimes fatal. They can be further divided into two types: obligate sacrifice and facultative sacrifice. Obligate sacrifice include Bacillus globisporus, which cannot grow above 20 degrees Celsius, while facultative sacrifice, for example, Xanthomonas farmicola, which grow best below 20 degrees Celsius but also grow above 20 degrees Celsius. Mesophiles. Mesophiles can grow best at temperature between 25 degrees Celsius and 40 degrees Celsius. Human pathogens are included in this category, and most of them grow best near human body temperature, like 37 degrees Celsius. Thermoduric organisms, which ordinarily live as mesophiles but can withstand short periods of exposure to high temperatures. Inadequate heating during canning or in pasteurization may leave such organisms alive and therefore able to spoil food. Thermophiles. These are also called heat-loving organisms. They can grow best at temperatures from 50 degrees Celsius to 60 degrees Celsius. Many are found in fertilizer piles, and few tolerate temperatures as high as 110 degrees Celsius in boiling hot springs. They can be further classified as obligate thermophiles, obligate which can grow only at temperature above 37 degrees Celsius, or facultative thermophiles which can grow both above and below 37 degrees Celsius. Another example is Bacillus stereothermophilus, which is usually considered an obligate thermophile, as it grows maximum at 65 to 75 degrees Celsius, but can display minimal growth and cause food spoilage at temperature as low as 30 degrees Celsius. Thermophilic sulfur bacteria. They can live and grow in the runoff waters from such geysers despite the near boiling temperatures. They find zones of optimum growth temperatures in the runoff troughs of geysers. Different species collect at various locations along the sides of strong, the most heat tolerant are near the geysers, and those with lesser heat tolerance are distributed in regions where the water has cooled to their optimum temperature. Here is the chart showing all these three categories: psychrophiles, mesophiles and thermophiles ranges. If we have growth rate with 100% and here the temperature range 0 to 80 degrees Celsius, the psychrophiles, as we earlier described, they grow best between 0 to 22 degrees Celsius, while mesophiles, they grow best at above 37 degrees Celsius, and thermophiles with their maximum growth at above 60 degrees Celsius. General effects. In deep channels, the most heat tolerant species are found at the greatest depths and the least heat tolerant near the surface, where the water has cooled. Under laboratory conditions that use high pressure to increase water temperature above 100 degrees Celsius, archaeobacteria from deep sea vents have grown at 115 degrees Celsius. The temperature range over which an organism grows is determined by the temperatures at which its enzymes function. Within this temperature range, three critical temperatures can be identified: the minimum growth temperature, maximum growth temperature, and optimum growth temperature. If we talk about minimum growth temperature, it is the temperature where it is the lowest temperature at which cells can divide, while maximum growth temperature is the highest temperature at which cells can divide. The temperature at which cells divide most rapidly, that is have the shortest generation time, that is called optimum growth temperature. Effect of temperature on microbial growth rate. The factors governing the minimum, optimum and maximum temperatures for a particular organisms are indicated in this graph chart. The curve is asymmetrical, with the optimum temperature being closer to the maximum than the minimum. Here, if we have growth rate and here is the temperature, minimum growth temperature where reduced enzyme activity and membrane fluidity, while here is the optimum growth temperature, then growth declines as temperature increases. Decline in growth rate due to thermal desaturation of proteins. Here is the temperature effect with respect to enzyme activity. Regardless of the type of bacterial growth, bacterial growth gradually increases from the minimum to the optimum temperature and decreases very sharply from the optimum to maximum temperature. Further, the optimum temperature is often very near the maximum temperature. For example, growth rates of psychrophilic, mesophilic and thermophilic bacteria, the overlap of temperature ranges at which these organisms can survive. Growth rates are much lower at the extreme ends of the ranges. These growth properties are due to changes in the enzyme activity. Enzyme activity generally doubles for every 10 degrees Celsius rise in temperature until the high temperature begins to denature all proteins, including enzymes. The sharp decrease in enzyme activity at a temperature only slightly higher than the optimum temperature occurs as enzyme molecules become so distorted by denaturation that they cannot catalyze reaction. Temperature's role in inhibiting their growth. Temperature is important not only in providing conditions for microbial growth but also in preventing such growth. Low temperature. The refrigeration of food, usually at 4 degrees Celsius, reduces the growth of psychrophiles and prevents the growth of most other bacteria. However, food and other materials such as blood can support growth of some bacteria even when refrigerated. For this reason, unpreserved materials that can withstand freezing are stored at temperature of 230 degrees Celsius if they are to be kept for long periods of time. High temperature also can be used to prevent bacterial growth. Laboratory equipments and media are generally sterilized with the heat, and food is frequently preserved by heating and storing in closed containers. Bacteria are more pertinent to survive in extremes of cold than extremes of heat. Enzymes are not denatured by chilling but can be permanently denatured by heating. The other physical factor is osmotic pressure. Have a look at this. Osmosis. Osmosis is the diffusion of water across a semi-permeable membrane from a less concentrated solution to a more concentrated one as equalizing concentrations. The pressure which is required to make this happen is called the osmotic pressure. If a cell were placed in a hypertonic solution, a solution which have high concentration of solutes, osmosis would lead to a loss of water from the cell. That is called plasmolysis. This is the basis of using high concentration of salt or other solutes to preserve foods against microbial attack. If we define plasmolysis, that is the shrinkage of the plasma membrane away from the cell wall due to osmotic loss of water from the cell. In the opposite situation, water would pass from dilute called hypertonic solution into the cell, causing it to swell and burst. The rigid cell walls of bacteria prevent them from bursting, this together with their minute size. This makes them less sensitive to variations in osmotic pressure than other types of cells, and they are generally able to tolerate sodium chloride concentrations of between 0.5 to 3%. Types of bacteria on the basis of salt tolerance. There are two types of bacteria: non-halophilic, they also called salt tolerant. These bacteria are able to tolerate concentrations 10 times as high but prefer low concentrations. Whereas halophilic, also called salt loving, their forms are adapted to grow best in conditions of high salinity, such as those that prevail in the Dead Sea in the Middle East. In order to do this without plasmolysis occurring, they must build up a higher internal solute concentration, which they do by actively concentrating potassium ion inside the cell. Microorganisms with the cell wall, the cell or plasma membrane separates from the cell wall. Conversely, cells in distilled water have a higher osmotic pressure than their environment, and therefore they gain water. In bacteria, the rigid cell wall prevents cells from swelling and bursting, but the cells fill with water, becoming turgid. This figure shows the responses to salt, growth of halophilic and non-halophilic organisms, the relation to sodium ion concentrations. As sodium ion concentration increases, the non-halophilic bacteria's growth reduces. While in the middle of the chart, moderate halophilic bacteria, they attain their peak in growth with sodium ion concentrations increase. As it increases higher, their growth also decreases. And extreme halophilic bacteria, they can even tolerate higher concentration of sodium ions. If we talk about salt and sugar, most bacteria cells can tolerate a fairly wide range of concentrations of dissolved substances. Their cell membranes contains transport systems that regulate the movement of dissolved substances across the membrane. If concentrations outside the cell become too high, water loss can inhibit growth or even kill the cell. Use of salt as preservative in curing hams and bacon and in making pickles is based on the fact that high concentration of dissolved substances exerts sufficient osmotic pressure to kill or inhibit microbial growth. The use of sugar as preservative in making jellies and jams is based on the same principle. Bacteria that called halophiles or salt-loving organisms they require moderate to large quantities of salt, like sodium chloride. Their membrane transport system actively transports sodium ions out of the cells and concentrate potassium ions inside them. Two possible explanations for why halophiles require sodium have been proposed. One is that the cell needs sodium to maintain a high intracellular potassium concentrations so that their enzymes will function. The other is that they need sodium to maintain integrity of their cells. Halophiles are typically found in the ocean, where the salt concentration ranges 3.5% is optimum for their growth. Extreme halophiles require salt concentrations of 20 to 30%. They are found in exceptionally salty bodies of water, such as the Dead Sea, and sometimes even in brine wets, where they cause spoilage of pickles being made there. The best examples, the Great Salt Lake in Utah. Great Salt Lake in Utah is an extremely salty environment that supports bacterial growth. The Great Salt Lake nearly 10 times saltier than ocean water. It supports many varieties of halobacteria because all halobacteria lack peptidoglycan in their cell wall. They are gram-negative. They are sensitive to most antibiotics, contain usually large plasmids, and are obligate aerobes. The halobacteria require large amount of sodium for growth, a requirement that is not satisfied when a similar ion is used in its place. Certain species of extreme halophiles use a light-mediated mechanism to produce ATPs. Unlike green plants, the pigments they use for light-dependent ATP synthesis are the red-orange carotenoids and the red-purple bacteriorhodopsins and bacteriorhodopsins. The brilliant color of these bacteria can be seen when high salinity lakes and holding ponds are photographed from the air, giving the distinct appearance of pink patchwork gilt you can see in these pictures. These are the references wherefrom this lecture was prepared. Thank you very much. I hope you have understand well about temperature and osmotic pressure as physical factors in microbial growth. Thank you.